this is Traceyhd, and I want to thank you for joining me for the Aries May 2015 tarot reading. And let's get started. As I shuffle the deck, I'm asking that all light beings, gods, and angels please relay the message that I need to share with my viewers for the highest good of all. And for the beginning of the month, we'll take a card from the top. For the middle, we'll take a card from the middle. And for the end of the month, I will take a card for the bottom of the deck. Okay, Aries, and what do we have lined up here for the month of May 2015? Well, we first start out with the Hanged Man. He's hanging upside down. It's raining. There's a lot of clouds in the background with him. There are green pastures in the back, but it looks like he's having a not so nice beginning of the month. And when we look at the Hanged Man, the first thing I think of is someone who's confused, someone who's not too sure. They're not making any moves, of course, because they're hanging by their feet. They can't walk away. They can't jump out of position there. They're kind of at a standstill. That's what I see it as. Basically, what I'm getting from this card when I look at this is the beginning of the month for you, Aries, is going to be a time of contemplation, time of standing still, basically. It's stagnant. This guy is in basically he's gridlocked, and he's under a very oppressive situation. He can also feel abandoned. However, you know, him hanging upside down like this might be a good thing. He's stopping to think. It could mean that it's necessary to turn around or turn upside down to radically change your views and ways of living. Otherwise, you're going to remain hanging like this hangman, being caught and suffering. He doesn't have a very good look on his face, so he's not enjoying himself. Sometimes we do have to pause to decide what the best course of action is. But this man isn't just pausing. I mean, he's truly tied and bound. So whatever it is that you're going through in the beginning of the month, it feels like a very, very oppressive situation which you have no control over. And you're basically at the mercy of this situation in the beginning of the month. In the middle of the month, we have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is holding a cup, and there's a mountain stream coming down, water flowing, beautiful moon in the background, rocks in the background, beautiful greenery. It looks like moss covering the rocks. And looking at this Page of Cups, it's basically a young person depicted in the picture. This could be a person in your life. It could be an energy that's taking place in your life right now. Basically, what the card means when this appears in our life, Aries, is it asks us to cultivate a certain mental attitude or to prepare for certain ways of acting. In this case, he invites us to turn to our inner self, our soul, and look for the well of love, compassion, and harmony inside of us, and be ready for some type of reconciliation there. When I look at this page, he basically looks like he's wanting to reconcile something. This is reminding us that in the middle of the month, be ready to reconcile for whatever it is that's happening in the beginning of the month. Think deeply, go inward. Prepare yourself for how you need to react in the best way possible for whatever's happening in the beginning of the month. And the most important thing is to approach the situation with love. I mean, this isn't a good situation to be in the beginning of the month. But if you continue to be angry and you decide to use unnecessary force in the situation to make things happen or to rectify things, it's not going to be a good outcome, because you cannot exude negative energy like that and accept positive things. So in the middle of the month, basically, to sum it up, this Page of Cups is telling us to approach things with more compassion and a more loving outlook on what the situation is. And I know it could be a very tragic, a very upsetting, emotionally, physical situation you're going through, but try to try to stay away from taking any unnecessary, negative, uh, violent action towards whatever is going on in the beginning of the month. Be a little bit more harmonious and have a little bit more compassion and try to be a little bit more loving. At the end of the month, Aries, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune shows a wheel, and there's a sun in the background, and these people are with their hands in the air. He's holding a chalice. She's climbing up. This one's falling down. It's a very busy card, the Wheel of Fortune. When the Wheel of Fortune appears in a reading, and this is, of course, at the end of the month, this Wheel of Fortune card, what this brings to mind when I look at this, what I get from Spirit is, basically it represents an experience that every human being has sooner or later when there are things that we cannot influence. Okay, fateful things happen to us just like that, without us being warned about them. And we could be forced onto certain paths because of these things that happened. And lovingly and carefully prepared plans could be, destroyed at a moment's notice. I mean, we think we know where we're going in life, and then before you know it, things change. Let's put it that way. We think we have well-laid plans, and believe me, the unexpected happens, but it's meant to be. It's meant to put you on the right path. With the Wheel of Fortune here, it's basically telling us to learn to deal with whatever insecurities and whatever ups and downs in life are taking place in a positive way. Just like the page is telling us that, look at it from a more loving, soft standpoint with more compassion. Right here, the beginning of the month, it's a very angry man who is forced into a circumstance that he doesn't want to be in, but he doesn't have anything that he could possibly do about it. In the middle of the month, step back, look at the situation, approaching it in a more loving manner, more compassionate manner than being violent or forceful. And basically, at the end of the month, whatever this lesson taught you in the beginning of the month is basically just part of life's ups and downs, and to try to view it in the most positive way possible. Sometimes, the blows of fate, are sources of learning and, understanding things. You feel like you're at the mercy of the situation here, but at the end of the month, if you realize, hey, it is what it is, there's nothing I could have done to avoid it, there's nothing I can do about it, we're just going to accept it as part of life. And basically, you just do the best you can with the situation, because getting angry over it, taking revenge, it's not going to make this situation better. It's basically going to make the situation worse. So something in the beginning of the month, to recap, has you really perplexed. You're a victim of circumstance. You're at the mercy of this bad situation that you're in. But by mid-month, you're going to need to approach it with more compassion, try to be a bit more soft, a bit more loving towards the situation. And at the end of the month, you're going to realize that, hey, this is part of life. This is life's ups and downs. This had a lesson to teach me. I learned it. It is what it is, and life goes on. Just like sometimes life could have you up on the top of the wheel here, and sometimes you're falling off. You just got to go with the flow. It's basically what you got to do this month, Aries, is go with the flow. If you've enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to my channel, because I'll be back with many more. Take care.